Good morning everyone. Today we will be presenting our research title, Accelerating Electric Vehicle Adoption Through Tax Incentive, a pathway to Malaysia's green economy. Presenters today are Bang Sok Suan as our group leader, Bae Hui Min, Cham Yi Lim, Ng Xing Yan and me, Chong Hyok Teng. In this research, we aim to explore the role of tax incentive in accelerating electric vehicle adoption in Malaysia as a part of country transitions to a green economy. We will examine the challenge faced in promoting EV adoptions and how Budget 2025 through incentive introduced by the governments and agencies like MIDA aim to address this issue. This study focused on analysis the effectiveness of this incentive and how they contribute to achieve Malaysia's sustainability goals.
Now, I will talk about literature review. Malaysia has been implementing a change of efforts toward the green economy. Malaysia has to adjust towards a green economy by embracing circular economy concepts and green technologies for resilience to climate and optimally in the use of resources. Adjustment towards sustainable development pathways are no longer an option, but a necessity in order to maintain national competitiveness in the future and conserve the environment. In electric vehicle adoption, government efforts such as Low Carbon Mobility Blueprint 2021 until 2030 place increasing infrastructure on the national agenda. Public sentiment are progressively charging, with MGTC surveys shows the registering rising interest in EVs among M40. Next, for tax incentive on EV adoption, the Ministry of Finance Budget 2025 also reiterates the encouragement of the government towards EV promotion. The government went on to exempt CBU EVs from import and excise duty up to 2025, with continued exemptions from road tax for EV consumers. In addition, individuals are qualified to receive up to 2,500 ringgit personal income tax relief for expenses on the installation, rental, subscription of charging facilities for EV at home, which is extended up to the year of assessment 2027.
This study used secondary data as its main research method, drawing information from internet sources such as government websites, academic journals, books, and reports. By analyzing data from platforms like Science Direct, Emerald, and Google Scholar, this study gives insight into current EV trends and the effectiveness of tax incentive in Malaysia.
I will discuss the applicability and consequence of green economy in Malaysia. Firstly, Malaysia is facing serious environmental challenges such as deforestation, pollution, and climate-related effects. Vehicle emissions are a major contributor, making electric vehicles or EVs a promising solution to reduce fossil fuel use. Secondly, the country's energy demand is rising due to widespread digitalization. To address supply constraints, the government introduced energy policies like the Fuel Diversification and the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act 2024. This initiative aimed to balance energy supply and demand while supporting cleaner technologies like EVs. Finally, green economic growth is creating new job opportunities across sectors including agriculture, manufacturing, and services. This shift not only supports environmental restoration but also boosts local economic activity by encouraging EV production and use. Together, these actions demonstrate Malaysia's commitment to building a sustainable, resilient, and inclusive green economy. Next, let's explore how Malaysia's 2025 budget and tax policies are supporting the green economy. The 2025 budget theme is Reinvigorating the Economy, Driving Reforms, and Prospering the Rakyat. Under this plan, over 300 million ringgit is allocated to the National Energy Transition Roadmap. This major investment is intended to boost renewable energy development and make EV adoption more practical by addressing energy supply issues. In addition, the government is using tax incentives to further promote sustainable practices. A carbon tax has been introduced to push industries towards low-carbon technologies. To encourage public participation, tax breaks are available for those who purchasing EVs. The government is also leading by committing to making half of all new government vehicles electric by 2025. This initiative reflects a strong policy framework that not only tackles environmental concerns but also helps drive Malaysia's economy toward a greener future. Thank you.
Now we talk about tax incentive for green economy in Malaysia. Malaysian Investment Development Authority (MIDA) promote both domestic and foreign investment in manufacturing and services sector with strong emphasis on sustainable development. MIDA also contributes to policy development and offers essential support service to investors. To further promote green development, the government has introduced several tax incentives including GITA for green assets and green projects, as well as GITE for solar leasing service. Specifically, for electric vehicles, the first tax measure is import and excise duty exemption. EVs are exempted from import and excise duty to lower purchase costs and make them more affordable. Secondly, road tax exemption. EV owners enjoy road tax exemption until December 2025 with a lower power-based rate structure starting in 2026. Personal income tax relief. Individuals can claim up to $2,500 annually for EV charging equipment and services at home, but only once in any 3-year period. Next is tax rebate. Individuals earning below $102,000 annually can receive up to $2,400 in tax rebate when purchased or subscribed to electric motorcycle. Lastly, tax allowance for companies. Charging point operators get a 100% investment tax allowance for 5-year periods, while EV charger manufacturers receive full income tax exemption until 2032.
Now I will be presenting on implication and potential impacts of tax incentive on the green economy. First and foremost, tax incentives are crucial in fostering both domestic and foreign investment into Malaysia's electric vehicle sector. Tax incentives like the Green Investment Tax Allowance and Green Income Tax exemptions have attracted over RM26.2 billion in EV-related investment in Malaysia, including major projects by Cherry Corporate Malaysia and EP Manufacturing Berhad. This incentive not only draw investment but also support the adoption of green technologies by offering income tax relief for EV charging installations and fiscal policy like tax exemption and allowance for EV manufacturers which promote innovations. Next, government implement measures like import duty exemptions, road tax waivers, and income tax relief, which help lower the cost of EV, making them more accessible to the general public. For instance, individuals can claim a personal income tax relief up to RM2,500 annually for expenses related to EV charging facilities, which could enhance market demand for EV and support manufacturers in scaling up EV production, which further is stimulating demand. Last but not least, tax relief also promote the installation of EV charging stations at both residential and commercial levels. Companies can enjoy full tax exemptions from the year of assessment 2023 to 2032 on manufacturing EV charging equipment, while consumers benefit from home charging incentive. This supports the growth of a reliable charging network, which is crucial for wider EV adoption and low carbon future. There are several challenges and limitations on EV. First, the high purchase cost of EV remain a major barrier. EV are significantly more expensive than traditional vehicles, mainly due to costly lithium-ion batteries, high import duties, and limited local manufacturing. For instance, the popular Nissan Leaf costs around 42% more than a similar sized Nissan Almera. Moreover, the absence of economy of scales and the need for costly advanced components further drive up production costs. Next, charging infrastructure is very limited and unevenly distributed. Most charging stations are found in major urban areas like Selangor, Johor, and Penang, while rural and eastern regions are largely left out. Furthermore, the existing infrastructure is primarily composed of low-power AC chargers, which are inadequate for quick charging needs. Last but not least, safety and risk concerns further discourage adoption. Since EV technology is still new in Malaysia, many users are unsure how to maintain or handle these vehicles. Risks such as battery fires, electric shocks, and chemical hazards require strict safety measures and trained technicians for proper handling. In a nutshell, addressing this issue is crucial for Malaysia to successfully transition to a more sustainable transportation future. In conclusion, the adoption of electric vehicles in Malaysia still faces several challenges, including high costs and limited infrastructure. However, the introduction of tax incentive under Budget 2025, supported by agencies such as NIDA, play an important role in reducing these barriers. This incentive not only encourage consumer adoptions, but also attract investment in EV-related industry. This is a significant step towards supporting Malaysia's goal of building a greener and more sustainability economy. Therefore, the effectiveness and implementations of such incentive must be closely monitoring to ensure long-term success and national impact. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.